Hi, my name is Daniel Schrader, and in this video we're going to upgrade Debian 10 Buster to Debian 11 Bullseye. Before we go on, I would advise to make a backup of your system in case anything goes wrong with the upgrade. You can restore your personal files or any important files, even the operating system if you want to do that. I've already made a backup of my system, so I'm not concerned. Okay, moving on. The first thing to do is to check the Debian version of your system, so I'm going to go ahead and cat the etc Debian version file, and we can see that we're on version 11 of release 10. Go ahead and cat the etc os release file, and you'll get the code name, which is Buster. Okay, the next thing to do is to list any third-party packages, so use apt-forktracer. We're going to pipe that to sort, and we see that I have several third-party packages on here. Just keep in mind there may be issues upgrading those packages from the standard Debian repositories. The next thing to do is to process any pending actions in the Aptitude package manager. So we type in Aptitude, and it's an interactive program. Use the G command to check for any packages that need to be installed. It says there aren't any, so we just OK. Use the Q command for quit. Okay, next we're going to ensure that all currently installed software packages have been fully installed. So we do that using the dpkg command with the audit option. Okay, all the packages are fully installed, so we're good there. The next thing to do is to remove any hold states on software packages before upgrading. So we're going to look for any packages with a hold state. We're first going to check Aptitude. So we do Aptitude search. Okay, nothing there. Next we're going to check apt-get. So we use a dpkg command, get selections. We're going to grep for hold. Okay, nothing there. If you do need to remove the hold state from a software package, you use the echo command and then the package name. So obviously you would substitute the actual name of the package there. Install, and then you would pipe that to dpkg set selections right there, and that should remove the hold state. I don't need to do that, so I'm not going to run that command. Okay, the next thing to do is we need to configure our apt sources file for the Debian 11 software repositories. So to do that, we need to edit the etc apt sources.list file, and we're going to go ahead and substitute and replace every instance of the word Buster with Bullseye. Okay. Okay, and it looks like those are all the instances there. The next thing to do is on the security lines, which are in the middle of the file here for me. They changed the formatting a little bit, so instead of bullseye/updates, it's bullseye-security. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that with a dash and then put security here, and then same thing there. Oh, that didn't work quite well. That's okay. Dash security. Okay. And then they also changed the URL here, so I need to append Debian-security here. Okay, Debian-security. When I did this upgrade before, I noticed that when I did make the changes to these lines, I wasn't able to update these repositories. So necessary changes, some different formatting there. So we're going to write our changes to the file and quit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the script command to capture the commands that we enter on the command line as well as the output of those commands. So this is really useful for reviewing your upgrade process later. If there were any problems or any errors that came up, you can find those very easily and hopefully troubleshoot them, figure out what went wrong, retry your upgrade, make it successful. So we use script-t, and this is a timing information, which is written on standard error, so that's why we're using the 2 greater than. And then we're going to write it to the home directory, and I'm going to go ahead and name it upgrade bullseye _1.time, and then we're going to append the actual inputs and outputs on the command line to our home directory, and I'm going to call this upgrade-bullseye _1.script. Okay, script started. There's my file. The timing file is to actually get the time it took to enter the commands and the time for the output to return. So it actually appears like the person as they were typing the commands and reading the output. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so going on, we're going to go ahead and fetch the list of available packages for Debian 11 Bullseye. So we do that using apt-update. Okay, that looked good. Okay, next we're going to verify that we have enough disk space for the upgrade. So to do that, we're going to use the apt command, -o, trivial only equals true, and then full upgrade. Okay, so it's basically like a test run. And so it says after this operation, 876 megabytes of additional disk space will be used. And I have plenty of disk space for that, so I didn't get any errors saying that I didn't have enough disk space for the upgrade. If that does occur to you, there is an easy way to go ahead and reclaim some disk space. One of those ways would be to run apt autoremove. So this will remove any unnecessary packages that are installed on your system. And then also apt clean, which will clean out any package cache or packages that are cached on your system. Obviously, if they're cached, you don't need them, so you can remove those, and hopefully that may help get you enough disk space to perform the upgrade. Okay, so next we're going to get to the actual upgrade part. We're going to do a minimal system upgrade. So that means we're only going to upgrade packages that do not require any other packages to be removed or installed. So basically packages that don't have dependencies. What's nice about doing a minimal upgrade is that it also means minimal impact to your users. It's the most non-disruptive portion of the upgrade. So theoretically you can do this while your users are still logged into your system and using it, and they shouldn't notice any issues. And then after we're done with this part, then we go ahead and upgrade the kernel. After the kernel upgrade, we will do a reboot. So obviously before you reboot the system, which you need to do in order to load the new kernel, you want to let your users know that the system is going to be down, it's going to be offline, and then you need to shut down any application or database that may be running on the system before you do that. So to do the minimal upgrade, we use the apt command, use the upgrade option, and then without-new-pkgs. Okay, so 504 upgraded packages, let's see, 365 not to upgrade, 159 megabytes of archives, and that looks good, so we're going to go ahead and answer Y for yes. Okay, now the minimal system upgrade is finished. So the next thing we're going to do is upgrade the kernel. So before we do that, we're going to verify the CPU architecture that we're running on to make sure we install the right kernel. And I'm running AMD 64. So we're going to do apt install linux-image-amd 64. Okay, and in order to load the new kernel that we just installed, we need to reboot the system. So we're going to gracefully reboot the server. So to do that, we're going to use the systemctl reboot command. Okay, so now that our server's been rebooted and our new kernel's been loaded, we're going to check the kernel ring buffer for errors. So we use dmesg, we grep for error. Okay, and I'm not concerned about any of these errors. I see them all the time, so no issues there. And we're going to verify that we have our new kernel loaded. So do uname-r, and we have the newest kernel loaded, 510. So that's good. Next we need to verify all file systems mounted correctly. So I'm going to use the df command, and then the H is for human readable output. And yeah, looks like I have all my file systems mounted up just fine. So that's also good. Okay, so now we're going to re-record our shell session since the reboot interrupted this previous script command that we ran. So it's going to look pretty much like the last one, except this time I'm going to name it 2 instead of 1. So it doesn't overwrite the last file that we used. I know the actual inputs and outputs would just be appended to the previous file, the new time file and all that, so just keep them separate. Okay, so we got that script started again, and now we're ready for the full upgrade. So now we're going to go ahead and upgrade any remaining software packages on the system. So these are the packages that have dependencies. Those packages are going to get upgraded, etc. So we're going to do an apt full upgrade. Yes. Now that the full upgrade is finished, let's go ahead and remove any obsolete packages. So we use apt-autoremove. And it looks like I'll be able to reclaim 707 megabytes of disk space, which is pretty good. Okay, next I'm going to purge any of the removed packages. So the packages I removed, I'm going to go ahead and purge their configuration files. You need to be careful when you run this though. You might be removing config files you don't want to get removed. So just be careful with this one. I already know I don't want any of this stuff, so I'm fine with getting rid of it. But you definitely need to check to see if you can live without these files. Okay, so basically to check, just run this dpkg line that pipes to awk, and this will tell you what config files or what packages and config files you're going to be purging. So, okay, and that is pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and cat the Debian version file, and we are on 11.1, which is Bullseye, and then the version 1. I'm going to go ahead and cat OS etc OS release, and we see that we're on Debian 11 Bullseye. That's it. Hopefully this helped you. Hope your upgrade goes smooth, and we'll see you next time.